Except for that first night, the two kids under that moonlight, we ate McDonald's at midnight, became the best of friends.
Thank you. Although I am rather curious, who else has noticed that oftentimes comedians will start asking how the audience is doing? This stupid son. Ask how the audience is doing, but no one ever asks how the comedian is doing.
Oh.
What are we, just some performing monkey for you all? You know, I could just picture it now. You're over here with a little organ. And we're over here. Ching, 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 ching. Okay, I performed. Can I have a banana now? No, I am actually extremely curious. Who here is at their very first comic strip show?
Yeah!
That is so cool. Me too. Okay, that's kind of a lie. I've been to a comic strip show before. I've actually been part of the comedy scene here on campus for upwards of 4 years now. Oh, good heavens, I am old. No, not talking about that. But this is my first time performing with comic strip. And I've noticed a few things over the years about the comedy here on campus. And what I'm about to say is true of all the comedy groups, Comic Strip, Unscripted, and Humor Code, and even Comic Frenzy. We tend to joke about the same things. We tend to joke about being broke college students who can barely afford ramen, and our non-existent dating lives. And there's a reason for that. It's relatable. We're all broke college students who can not even afford ramen. And we all attend BYU I Do, whose unofficial motto is a ring by spring or your money back. I'm still waiting on that check. Oh, wait, I'm married. Does that void the check? Dang it, I was looking forward to that. Back to what I was talking about. In fact, I'm so confident that we tend to joke about those things that I will guarantee you someone, at least one of the comedians here tonight, is going to mention their dating life. If I was a betting man, I would put money on that, but I don't bet, so. With that being said, I would like to share with you my worst date ever.
Yeah!
Look, if I'm going to make a bet and I'm up here controlling the outcome, you better believe I'm gonna make it in my favor. I'm not stupid. I'm just desperate. Where was I? Oh yes, worst date ever. Look, things are going crazy up here. So let me paint a picture. August 2014. I should be preparing for my senior year of high school. Yes, I'm that old. No, I'm not talking about it. And instead, I am downstairs in my mother's basement playing the brand new release of Destiny. Not Destiny 2, Destiny. Heavens, I'm old. Nope, not talking about it. And I'm just chilling, having fun, and all of a sudden I hear I open it, and there's a text from a girl I had met in my early morning seminary class. And the text read as follows. Hey, I'm having a birthday party on Friday, and I want you to come. Less than 3, less than 3, less than 3. Heart emojis hadn't been invented yet. So that's the best we could do. And even if emojis did exist, I was on a Nokia, so good luck. You know, despite for not talking about my age, I've talked a lot about my age. And I'm thinking, I like this girl. She's cute. I like birthdays. I then get a second text. Oh, BT Dubs, it's bowling. Ooh, I like bowling. Yeah. I text back and I go, yeah, I think I got the time to spare.
Ah!
You laugh at that one? Okay, now I know what crowd we got tonight. And let me just say this, a bowling alley for a birthday party could not be a brighter idea. You got the music. I mean, we're up there playing Don't Stop Believin'. Open Gangnam Style. Remember, this is the early 2010s. We were stupid back then. And not to mention the decorations. In fact, if you go to a bowling alley, you don't even need to decorate your cake. All you have to do is drop it on the floor.
Oh.
I mean, it looks pretty. I would not recommend eating it. No, I'm not speaking from experience. Remember, back then we were stupid. Anyway, I go to the bowling alley and we're having an absolute blast of a time. Now remember, this is my worst date, so there have been a few mistakes that I made. Number one being, I showed up without a present.
Oh.
And so, I can only imagine what is going through this girl's mind. No present? I know they said they liked me. They're the present. I see you. I see you. Meanwhile, on my mind, I'm going, okay, I gotta get this lined up just right to pick up this 7-10 split. I gotta bowl. And it's in the process of bowling for that 7-10 split that I hear words I was not expecting to hear. Can I be your girlfriend? What? Now, reminder, I'd been on 2, maybe 3 dates with this girl. I go, what? Do you want to... Can I be your girlfriend? Yes, she was this nervous. Can I be your girlfriend? Now, might I point out, I was not looking for a girlfriend. I was dating for the fun of it. And I was going to wait for college to get into the serious dating because despite the fact that it was at the 2010s and we were all stupid, I like to think otherwise. Just proved how stupid we were. And just to add insult to injury and how stupid we are, I respond to the question of, can I be your girlfriend? With, I don't know. That's mistake number 2. You see, when a girl walks up to you and asks, can I be your girlfriend? There are 2 valid answers to this question. One of which results in your certain doom. The other resulted in my certain doom. Yes and or no. I don't know does not fall into either of those categories. And so, it required a repetition of the question. Do you want to be my boyfriend? I don't know. Strike 2, we're going for double. Can we get a turkey? We'll see. Do you want to be my boyfriend? I don't know. Turkey! 7 more and it's a perfect game. Do you want to be my boyfriend? Now, I end up bowling the perfect game.
Oh.
Again, stupid. And I was raised and taught to never upset a woman. I understood, despite my stupidity, that no resulted in certain doom. So I made the fatal mistake and said yes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Excuse me, this is your worst date? You ended the date with a girlfriend. That's a dream date. Only buy one that ends up with a ring. Let me explain why this was so bad. I ended up dating this girl for about 3 years, and this girl was clingy. She was so clingy, she was clingier than the barnacle on Davy Jones's hat from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Yeah, you know, the one on the left. Honestly, best part of the movie, played his role perfectly. No, this, after that day, my phone could have ran 365 marathons every day because she just would not stop texting me. I can't tell you the number of high dives that took off the counter. And I end up, during those 3 years, going on my mission. Now, before leaving, I told her that I didn't want her to wait. I wanted her to date other people, so that way I could hopefully get Dear John'd. I know, weird. Someone wants to get Dear John'd? You have no idea how desperate I was. At the time, I was stupid and didn't realize how desperate I was. I thought everything was fine. That echo was weird. I apologize, I pick up on the weirdest crap. I actually do end up getting an email that winds up with me in tears. It was near the end of my mission, and the elders that were there were like, "Oh no, what happened? Did your girlfriend break up with you?" No! She turned down a date! And so she's still waiting! At this point, I had a month left. And I end up going home and breaking it up with her. And this is thank you!
Yeah.
Thank you, somebody gets it! Freedom! I felt like a brand new hat. Anyway, I thought I grew out of my stupid phase once it reached 2020. No, still here. Where was I? Oh yeah, brand new hat. Not more than a day later, I get by far one of the biggest red flags of this now woman that I could have ever gotten. I got a message from her mother. It was not a pretty message. And I'm just sitting there thinking, reading it, honey, this was her idea. I wanted out of this. You deal with the barnacle. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me check my notes real quick. Who's next? You. Oh, it's me. Hi, my name is Samuel, and I'm now performing. Clap for me. So I just want to get a sense in the audience. How many freshmen or new students are in the audience? Raise your hand. Okay, actually more than I expected. That's pretty good. Awesome. So people that are not freshmen, you know probably what I'm going to say next and stuff like that. But I want to make the everyone's even on even grounds. There's a nickname for this school at BYU Idaho, okay? And everyone with me? So it's called BYU No, it's BYU I didn't get into Provo. Come on. You should know this. Like, come on, guys. But seriously, no. I do really love BYU Idaho, I really love. But the one thing that I really don't like, there's so many good things about BYU Idaho, but the one thing I don't like at BYU Idaho is ceiling fans. They're everywhere. Every apartment on this campus, they're everywhere, and I hate them. With a passion. I hate ceiling fans. Did you know that the first ceiling fan ever was created? Because, you know, as typical person does, research everything about the things you hate all the time. So at any time you can just spout facts about them, be like, they're not that good. The first ceiling fan was created in India It was named a punka, and it was basically made by palm leaves attached together with like tape or something, and with a string attached, where the guy would literally have to go on the ground like this and do this to make it work. This is how it works. He's probably sitting there, his friend's next to him like, hey Abu, look what I'm doing. I'm exerting the same exact energy it takes to cool me off as it is to work this fan. I've created nothingness. It's great, isn't it? And his friend's probably in the corner over there, probably listening, can't even hear him when his like AirPods in. It's the 17th century. So it's probably cherries with like seeds. If you shake your head enough, they like make sound or whatever. And he's like, what'd you say? What? I know this. I know this pretty well. I've seen that one episode of Fixer Upper in the Texas show. I know this pretty well. Yeehaw! And that's how country dance was invented. Yeah, it's a great time. Now, that's what the internet says. But my theory, I think, this is how ceiling fans were really created. I think they were just a college prank. I think Brian just went on vacation one day to Utah, probably for the weekend, and his friends were like, how can we prank Brian? And they walk in his room, and he probably has 4 ceiling fans because it gets so hot in Rexburg. And they're like, let's put a ceiling fan on the ceiling. And they probably used gum or something, like, whoop. And they put it on the ceiling, and Brian comes home exhausted, and he's like, oh man, this is a pretty good idea, actually. Wow. And ceiling fans were created. But do you guys have that one friend, big time, that you just keep in the group for some reason, but they're just there to insult you every time? Yeah, I see people relate to that one. They're like, I'm taller than you, so that makes me better. I see some people looking at each other right here. They're like, it's you. You're the friend I keep that insults me. I love you. But like one of them goes like, oh, I'm taller than you. Or another one's like, yeah, probably you should have studied harder. That's how you can get better grades like me. Or I got that 1% better. Or you got a 95 because that's all you can get. I got 100 because that's all there was to get. You know, those kind of friends. For me, that's 6-foot friends. They're just very tall. But you know what, the one thing, they might be great. And ladies, you guys always say this, ladies. You guys want a 6-foot man. You know, you want McDreamy, probably from Grey's Anatomy. Like that. You know, you're like simping over every single 6-foot guy. It's like, that's my minimum. It needs to be 6 foot or taller, or you're not even dateable. Well, you know, those guys, their one weakness, ceiling fans. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Lower your expectations, okay? 5'11" guys are okay? It's okay. Yeah, lower them. I recently had an event where I had a bunch of buddies together, and we're like, what's an event can we do? We can cook together, right? But it ended up just being an event where like one person is the one cooking really, and the other ones are just holding the recipe book and being like, so you add a pinch of flour, a little bit of chili spoon, and the guy cooking is like, where's the lamb sauce? And he's just doing that all day. And then I just always realized that. I just always do it. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, I love my American Chef Boyardee. I love him so much as I'm like putting spaghetti noodles in the microwave. Yeah. I really do love that. You know, I didn't really discover cooking until I came to college. I grew up pretty spoiled. I was an only child. You can tell, I do comedy. I talk to myself a lot. This is just me talking to myself. You guys are not even here. I know. I grew up pretty spoiled, you know, but our family was immigrants. They were pretty poor. And so everyone like lived with the like name brands and stuff. But like for me, I had like the off brands for everything. Like instead of like Pizza Hut, we had like Pizza Hot. It was hot pizza, that's all it was. Instead of like, I wanted to be Aladdin for Halloween, it was Aladdin in a costume. Thank you, Wish. And then my favorite one is, instead of, I can't believe it's not butter, it's, this kind of tastes like butter. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, but as I came into college, I realized that you can cook stuff. I didn't know fire existed. Thank you, electric stoves at BYU Idaho. And so I started to cook stuff, and the first thing I went to the grocery store I bought was Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah, exactly. But who knew that a strainer has holes in it? Here goes the water. Who knew that milk boils and foams when you warm it up? There goes the milk. So instead of Kraft mac and cheese, I had raw mac and powdered cheese. It was great. It was great. But then I realized I needed to have a job to buy stuff. So I got a job at IT, which stands for Informational Technology, if you didn't know, and stuff like that. But I didn't even know how I got it because I'm a biomedical major. I don't even know anything about that. But I know how to do two things very well. I know how to sound sophisticated enough to get it, and I know how to Google things better than the average person. And so one day, I'm at the help desk, I'm just typing, I'm playing Minesweeper or that little dino game because that crap slaps. And this guy comes up to me, and he was like, yo, I can't access the BYU Idaho website, can you help me with this? And I'm like, yeah, sure, just let me finish this email real quick as I'm typing in the Google, computer broke, BYU Idaho Reddit? And I find out, I look at the computer and his Wi-Fi isn't on. But I just can't tell a man that his Wi-Fi is not on. That's like an assault to his dignity. And so I have to sound sophisticated enough so I know. So I'm like, sir, it seems like your graphics card, which is attached to your floppy disk, is not communicating with the wavelengths in Mars back to you, and what you common folks call Wi-Fi. And he's like, oh, you're right. My Wi-Fi isn't on. Have a good day, sir. And he leaves, and I look at him, I'm like, don't I know this guy? And it says in the back of his shirt, IT. I work with this man. I guess you don't really need to have enough experience to be my IT. Thank you, Jolly. Have a great night. Who's next? Jordan. Okay. Hi. No, kidding. I'm gonna perform again. So, no kidding. So awesome. So the next performer, she has hair, and she's great. Welcome, Jordan, to the stage. I just forgot everything I wanted to say. I'm like,
That's valid. Nope, I get it.
yeah, I didn't get it. That's wild, dude.
That is.
Didn't want to come off. From God, especially their 4 for 4. Chef's kiss. I literally like to think that the 4 for 4 is like the poor man's buffet, because literally you get your nuggets, you get fries, and you get your burger for so cheap. And so one day, like every other day, I was going to Wendy's, and so I walk in. And I can't get in. And at this point, I'm like, okay, no, it's fine. We're gonna be okay. And I just keep going till eventually I see an employee. And now I'm staring her straight in the eyes, just trying to get in. And eventually now it's personal because she's keeping me from my chicken nuggets. And I'm looking and looking, and eventually it feels like it's raining, and I'm tapping on the glass, banging, and I'm just going, and I'm like, why? And all this employee can see is just, and she's just staring at me like, this chick is lunatic. So needless to say, I went to McDonald's. But that situation was a little awkward. But you know what else was a little awkward? Sneezing.
Wow,
I personally like to think it's the most uncomfortable way to grab attention to yourself, because it's just, Hachu! Everyone turns their head. Literally, no matter what you do, everyone's like, oh, bless you! And it sucks when you're like me and you sneeze 6 times. Because the first 3, it's normal. It's like, oh, bless you! Bless you! Bless you! And then after 3, they look at you like you're this deranged animal, just... Bless you? Bless you? Bless you. Okay, you're done being blessed. No more blessings for you. Until eventually, Mamiya gets to 7 and you're still going, you freak of nature? And so eventually now I just learned to like suck in my sneezes so that no one can tell. But you know, sneezing is kind of spooky a little bit just because it's like, it stops your heart. But you know what else is spooky? Spooky season. Yeah, who here likes spooky season?
No!
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You know, I like to think that all the guys I've ever dated like spooky season because they always end up ghosting me. So, I'm not lying. And one of the fun pleasures I get is I get to work at a haunted house. Now, who here has heard of the Haunted River? Woo! Yeah, so I am one of the scare actors of the Haunted River, and I get the wonderful opportunity to just go out and scare people. And I've learned that there are 3 different reactions. Number 1 is called the soda vine, because they're a waste of money. Now, they're the type of people that will just come and just walk through. Like, they don't care, they paid their money, and they're just not having a good time. The second one, I like to call the art major, because they feel like they have something to prove. Now, these people are the ones that are always yelling at you, claiming that they're not scared when they're so obviously scared. Like, they're just, you're not scary, you're not scary, you're not scary, I'm not scared of you. And then you just go, boo, ah! Obviously scared. And then the third one I like to say is McDonald's, because they're at least reliable.
Oh!
Unlike some restaurants. These are the type of people that will literally, like, they're like Christmas morning for me. They're like a present, because they will play along, they'll go along with everything that you're doing, and they're just like chef's kiss. Or they're the type of people that won't even look at you. Like, they'll just go, like, they don't even look at you. Now, one of the fun bits I have as a scare actor is I'm basically an old lady. I'm this really decrepit old lady with this old lady makeup on and this like baby that has its eyes gouged out. It is not pretty. And what I do is I come up to people and I'm like, do you want to see Precious? And they're literally like, sure. And so they come up and they look at the baby and they're like, oh, it's so precious. And one of the times is I always make them sing a lullaby or a song or whatever to make the baby go to sleep. And I've had them sing all the songs from like ABCs to the national anthem to like any lullaby. And one time I literally had this group of kids that were singing the lullaby, and you've never seen the funniest thing in the entire world is having a traumatized child sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. They're literally like, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. And they keep going. Anyways, I'm getting a little hungry. I think I'm going to head to Wendy's, so thank you.
Well, I am Adam. And I am tall. You guys ever sneeze while driving?
Yes!
I don't care who you are or what you believe in. But, you know, the minute your hands fly off the steering wheel and your eyes close, you believe in a God. Yeah.
You're so good.
Anyway, like he said, I'm Adam. And like I said before, I'm Adam. I wasn't terribly rebellious growing up. I wasn't terribly cool. I wouldn't call myself uncool, but I was definitely not cool. I didn't get to watch a lot of movies like the other kids got to watch. I saw a superhero movie called Condor Man. Yeah, who's seen that movie? 2 people, 3 people with me. Great movie. Guy does not have the powers of a condor, but it's pretty rad. Pretty cool fake superhero movie. But what what if he actually did have the powers of a condor? Who knows what a condor is? Raise your hand if you know what a condor is. Okay, you should know. You guys are, adults. It's like a big vulture. Big vulture. It eats dead things. That would not be an okay movie for me to have watched. In fact, no, I remember, speaking of uncool, I watched the super old Superman cartoons when I was young. That's all I watched up until 15 when I lied and told my parents I went to go watch Superman the cartoon in the theater. It wasn't showing in the theater, but she pretended like she believed me until I think 3 minutes into the lie, she was like, nah. Anyway, Superman, that's a superhero. He is super, and he is super. He's strong, he's good looking, he's Henry Cavill, man. What if Batman were more realistic? That would be terrifying, don't you think? A giant 6-foot guy falling out of the sky, can't see you, and he just starts screaming. Horrible. Would be way more scarier than any, interpretation of Batman I've seen. Ant-Man, if he were just always that small, wouldn't be that fun a movie, but he'd be a good-looking superhero. That's nice, appealing to the eye. Wasp, his sidekick, will just sort of hum in your ear, and sting you when she got annoyed. Superhero movies are kind of lame if you think about them for a second. It take a smart person to kind of break them down. I'm not a huge fan of superhero movies, mostly because of the they're not realistic. They're not at all, they're not realistic. They're not good movies, I think, what is a good movie? Let's go back. What is a good movie? What makes a good movie? On Amazon, I only have one streaming service, it's Amazon, because I can't afford anything else. But Amazon has been showing this movie recently, Velocipaster. Who's seen the movie? Who's seen the poster? Raise your hand, please. I need to see, I can't see. Okay, you two, you won. Great. You know what I'm talking about then. Okay. Priest guy goes to Japan, gets cursed by some ninjas, turns into a dinosaur to fight the other ninjas. I don't know about you, that has everything a movie should have. It has ninjas, it has dinosaurs, and it has Japan. Pretty rad. So let's start going through movies. Karate Kid has ninjas, awesome movie. Jurassic Park has dinosaurs, awesome movie. Rush Hour, Jackie Chan. Awesome movie. But Rocky IV, I don't have any of those things. That is objectively a bad movie, by this metric. I was thinking of a movie the other day. I'm a creative guy, I'm an English major. That in and of itself is hilarious. Somebody told me I didn't look like an English major, I thanked them. Because, that means I look useful. I look productive to society. I contribute. Dang it. Not just to sort of be the butt of every joke. No, I do. I like to read a lot. I read a lot when I was young. I read a lot now. I come up with all these stories. I got to making my own superhero movie. I have a notebook. Some of you guys might have seen me with it. I have a yellow notebook just with a bunch of ideas. Now this movie is a great movie. Okay, it's a superhero movie, but it's more realistic. About a chameleon girl. Her name's Cammy, right? Cammy, the chameleon Shiro. Yeah, it's 2022, and women can be their own entity. Go Shiros, okay? Go Shiros. She's got a sidekick, Bugsy Boy. We had a reverse tangle there. That's a whole other motif. But she doesn't like him because he's short. His name's Bugsy Boy. He's going to be short. They're fighting crime. You guys ever seen a chameleon? Like a picture of a chameleon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That sort of defeats the whole purpose of the chameleon's powers, right? Because they're there. On the wall. Let's pretend that I am balancing against the wall. And their eyes are just staring right at you. Now, they may look like the back of the wall, but unless you're ready to accept that wall has eyes, You know the chameleon's that. So this gal would be faced with the decision, right? How to cover this up. She and her sidekick talk, they don't get along, and then they figure out that this is the only way they can fight crime is if they work together. She closes her eyes, Bugsy Boy sort of hops off the wall and gets the criminals as they're committing the crime. Whatever, right? They fight crime. Pretty rad. Bugsy Boy, though, is annoying. Because, well, he's short. And who doesn't hate Bugs? So at the end of the movie, she kind of loses herself, forgets of their sidekicks, and then she eats them. That is the end of Bugsy Boy, that's the end of my movie, and that's the end of my time. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Anyway, so I was thinking, about what to talk about for comedy because, like, the holidays are approaching. Who's interested in the holidays? We're in Utah. Holidays are crazy here. I saw them send up Christmas lights down the street. They're already working on it. It's not even Halloween yet. I don't even know what's going on. So I was thinking I would sing some Christmas music for you. Jingle, no! That was a nice echo. It's still October. We're not singing Christmas music. Anyway, I'm going to talk about family because what more is the holidays except for family and candy and more candy and also family? Y'all ever had that one family member at every family reunion that is just absolutely annoying?
Yes.
You don't have to point at them. You don't have to call them out. But you know. Like you're sitting there eating your great Aunt Denise's cornflake casserole and Janice walks up and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've grown so much. You're like 1 millimeter taller than you were before. I remember when I changed your diapers." And you're like, "Janice, I'm 20 years old. You just talked to me 5 minutes ago. Have you been having too much root beer?" Turns out there wasn't any root beer. She's just crazy. Anyway, Janice doesn't exist. I know every family though has that one person that's just really annoying for some reason and just bothers everyone and says things out of turn. That's me. Like in my family, that's me. So I'm gonna tell a story about it because what better way to cope with life than make people laugh about your problems? So I'm chilling at my cousin's birthday party and we're singing the song, Happy Birthday, and I'm like, I don't know, 7, 6, alive. And I'm just kind of going like this, and I'm like, "Happy birthday to you," and then you break into the dubstep remix part. Like, you guys know this?
Yeah.
Like the early 2000s dubstep remix extended edition of the Happy Birthday song, Many More on Channel 4, Scooby-Doo on Channel 2, Frankenstein on Channel 9, Pixie Sticks on Channel 6, Dodecahedron on Channel 12. And you get all the way to the end. I get all the way to the end, and I point to the nearest woman, and I say, "And the big fat lady on Channel 80. Except that woman was my aunt.
Oh.
And her husband was standing right behind me.
Oh.
You guys know the Eye of Sauron? Big glowy thing in the sky. Kind of looks like that, but scarier. Yeah, that was my uncle's eyeball pressed against my back, metaphorically, not literally, for like the next year. Sometimes I still wonder if he's watching. Just never, like, word of advice, never mess with the wife of a man who looks like Dwayne The Rock Johnson if he had hair. Like, literally every time I'm watching a movie with The Rock in it, I'm watching Jumanji or whatever, I'm like, oh, he's bald, it's fine. Speaking of movies, you ever have that one family gathering where all the adults are like, "We're gonna go in the other room and watch an adult movie." And before you get all up in arms about that, I'm talking PG, like pretty good movie that my parents won't let me watch because I'm not 10 yet. And so they go in the other room and they shove all the kids in the kid room full of toys and no supervision. And they go to like the 11-year-old and they're like, "You're almost 12, you're in charge." That was my brother. Anyway, we're all playing there, having a good time, and my grandma thinks it's smart to leave her yoga ball in there. Like one of the big ones. I will demonstrate with both hands. Okay. About yay big, about yay squishy. And so I'm smart. I look over at my friend, cousin, his name's Will, and I'm like, "Hey, Will, catch this." And like, "Fire it, Will." And I kind of hit him in the head with the ball because he's short, he can't catch it. And so it bounces off his head, but not only that, right? Like, I've probably given him a concussion, but it's fine. And it hits the ceiling fan, and by those ceiling fans, they suck. And the glass shatters everywhere, and then Will's crying, and then, I get a restraining order, and I haven't seen him in 10 years. And, long story short, don't throw things at family gatherings. Anyway, yeah, still haven't seen Will. Hope he's doing okay. I think he's alive or something. Anyway, holidays coming up. One of the things people like to do with their family, right, is to go visit them. So here we are in Rexburg, Idaho. I live in Houston, Texas. Thank you. Going to Houston, Texas requires one of two things. Like a, I don't know, I don't know money, 300-something bajillion dollar plane ticket, or like a 20-something bajillion dollar bus ride that also like includes sleeping and like strained necks. So anyway, I don't go home. I just stay here the entire time. It's fine. But then there's those people who live in like Idaho Falls or Rigby, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go visit my parents over the weekend. Like, what do you mean over the weekend? You're just gonna go there and come back? I can't even get to my parents over the week. If I drive out there, I will still be driving by the time school starts again on Monday. But they do. They go. I mean, I think it'd be nice if we had some sort of like teleportation device, right? Make everyone's trips equal. You know, I'd be the first one to sign up for that. To go like a particle accelerator and like mash up all my atoms and just fly away to Texas. That'd be pretty rad. Also like really dangerous, but that's just the way things are. So yeah, long story short, family reunions are good. The holidays are good. I'm super excited for Halloween. And my word of advice is don't start playing Christmas music until you've listened to Spooky Scary Skeletons at least 100 times. Thank you.
Oh, that stool is about as stable as my income.
Oh!
Okay, so noted. Okay, how's everyone doing tonight? Good, I love you too. So there are some controversial things in this world, like pineapple on pizza, toilet paper roll over under, you know, the works. Something that is not controversial, however, is that guys, especially teenage guys, are stupid. Yeah.
Yep.
And yes, I am a guy. Yes, I'm still a teenager. And yes, I'm stupid. So there were a few times in high school that this manifested itself quite clearly. One of which was me and a couple of my buddies, we were going to Sky Zone. And for those who don't know what Sky Zone is, it's a trampoline park. And you know, we get there, we're jumping on trampolines like one does at a trampoline park. And my buddy, he does a backflip. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I can't do a backflip. I was not going to try a backflip. And, you know, we're sitting there. I do a front flip. I felt kind of cool, some validation. And then a little 6-year-old, he looks about 6, comes out. He does a backflip. And I'm like, okay, I could probably do that. But I wasn't going to try it because I can't do it. And then he does another backflip. I'm like, okay, buddy, I saw you the first time. And then he looks up at me and goes, do a backflip. I'm like, I can't do a backflip, actually. He goes, how old are you? Oh, I'm 18. You're 18 and you can't do a backflip? You're darn right. You know what I can do? I can drive and I can pay rent. Super exciting. Anyway, he continues to keep doing backflips right in front of me. Man knows how to flex. And lady pipes up from the sideline. She goes, yeah, do a backflip. And I'm like, where'd you come from? Look over, look back at the little kid, and I'm like, there's something similar here. Turns out that lady was the kid's mom. Runs in the family to, you know, harp on 18-year-olds who can't do backflips. And eventually I caved to the pressure, and I'm like, fine, I'll try a backflip. And I try one. It was more of a back flop the first time. Wasn't that great. Second time, I'm really actually disappointed in myself to say there was a second time. To those who say try again, no, just take the L. Because I went about 180 degrees and you're supposed to go 360, and I landed on my neck, crunched like a soda can, knee came down, bashed my eyebrow, blood everywhere. I get up, I'm probably concussed, I'm getting off the mat, and I hear the kid behind me. He's talking to his mom. He goes, yeah, he can't do a backflip. So we get that all cleaned up, and me and my friends get out of Sky Zone. I wasn't jumping with that. And we get in the car, and we're like, we're hungry, because, you know, we're teenage guys. And we see a diner. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's late at night. And before I go into the diner, I'm looking at a little mirror in the car. And I'm like, actually, that scar's kind of dope. Ladies. So we walk into the diner, and we get seated. And our waitress, I was like, hey, she's kind of cute. I'm going to try and get her number. And
Boy, why are you laughing at me? I was dead serious. She was good looking. So, get seated down, and my buddies, they get their orders, and she gets to me, and she's like, what would you like to eat? I just ignored that, and I'm like, you wanna know how I got this scar? She didn't answer, but I kept going, and I was like, yeah, I got in a fight actually. It was actually sick, took a knee straight to the forehead. Yeah, it was radical. And my friend pipes up, he's like, yeah, the fight was the trampoline, and he lost. And it was his own knee. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I didn't get her number. Another story of when teenage guys are stupid. Me and a couple of my buddies, a buddy named Zach and a buddy named Kevin, and we were going rock climbing. And Zach, he had asked out a girl to go with him because, he thought she was cute, he liked her, whatever. We go rock climbing, it was a good time. We go get dinner, it was a good time. And then it's late at night, we're driving Kevin, and so Zach is driving his date home, I am driving Kevin home. And we get word of something that, Zach, stupid teenager guy, thought would be cool. He thought it'd be attractive or hot to go extremely fast in a car with this girl. And in his mom's car, actually, it was like a 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander. And I'm like, you know what? My 2006 Honda Pilot can compete with that. So, call up Zach. Yo, mama's car's so slow, it gets a parking ticket on the highway. Kevin's over there like, and he's like, yeah? Well, yo mama's car is so old, the owner's manual says expired. And I'm like, what'd you say? You can insult my mama's car like that, huh? All right, let's go. You want to race? He's like, yeah. How much money are you putting down on this? I'm like, put down money? Boy, your bank account's like an onion. You open it and you cry. I'm like, there's no collateral for that. We're not placing bets. So that's when he hung up and we're off. So we're racing out to this intersection, middle of nowhere, going down this 2-lane highway, pitch black. And Kevin and I, we had an early lead. I'm flooring it. We hit about 100 miles an hour. And Zach, he's pulling up behind me. He's catching up. He's going probably about 110. And he pulls over into the left lane, starts passing me. The nerve, right? I look over. He's coming up. I'm like, okay, Mitsubishi. Come on, Honda, we got this. And we keep going. And we come up on this hill. The problem with the hill is that you cannot see through them. And I know, I'm not Superman, actually. Believe it or not. And so there could be a car on the other side of that hill. And when two cars are going extremely fast and they hit each other, that's no bueno. So I look over at Kevin, and I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't know. He's like, nah, dude, just keep going. I'm like, all right, full send. And we get near the top, and I'm like, nah, dude, this ain't worth it. Hit the brake. Zach gets in front of me. He passes me. Crest the hill, and whoosh, car goes the other way. I look over at Kevin. I'm like, dude, Zach would have died. Yeah, but bro, we would have won the race. Thank you. Woo!
It's me. The person whose name sounds like 2 letters. What's up? My name is AV. Yep, it's a weird one, but you'll deal with it. This is my final semester here at BYUI. Yeah, I know, it's bittersweet. It's like something that I've been looking forward to my whole life, but looking back, like I miss it, I miss my childhood. I remember all the days that I spent outside, playing in the mud, digging in the dirt, looking at the plants and trees. My mom didn't like it when I digged in the dirt. I also remember that. And now I'm here. I'm naturally, as you would expect, a web designer. Spends all their time in the room. I love web design though. I think it's super fun, particularly because I just love technology. Right? Does anybody else like technology? Woo! Yeah! You like technology? You mean like that microphone? Don't say that I have any particular preference toward it. But no, I love technology. I love the new stuff that's coming out. I can never get the new stuff. I can't afford it. I just don't have it. So my friends will walk up to me and they'll be like, Avy. I got the iPhone 12 Pro 6TXY. And I'm like, oh! And they're like, check out the specs, it's got this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, is that a liquid display right now? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I could cry. But it's very different when I come up to my friends. I'm like, oh, look. I got a pocket-sized Etch-a-Sketch. Bro, can you believe the graphics on this thing? Eat your heart out, Gutenberg. Go left, go right, up and down. Oh! There's a blank. Things like magic. Woo. I get a rush out of that. No, I love technology. I like free technology stuff. I like Google a lot. You guys like Google? Funnest thing in the world. Someone else type on a Google Doc that you made. Admit it. It's the funnest thing. Doesn't matter what they're typing. It's just better. No, I especially like Google though because of their privacy policy. Why did we pay $3 to listen to a nerd today? No, I like their privacy policy. A lot of apps, you know, they track all your data and your information and the places where you go, and then they sell it for marketing purposes, which is despicable. Google does the exact same thing, but they make it fun. So much fun. You ever like you get on your phone and like you read the privacy policies, like we have access to all your photos and your camera and your microphone at all times. Girl, do you remember that time 5 years ago today when you went to Colorado Springs with your cousin? Here's a picture. I'm like, oh, that's a picture I took from 5 years ago today when I went to Colorado Springs with my cousin. Google, you care. No, I love Google, and Google loves me. I know this because they sent me an email one time, and they were like, hi, avigo7@gmail.com. We would like to give you a gift. And I was like, Google? It's not even my birthday. I told you that when I signed up. And the email continues, and it was like, we would like to give you a 100% free Google Home Mini. You don't even have to pay shipping. And I was like, whoa. That's got scam written all over it. Here's my address. Luckily for me, it was not a scam. 2 weeks later, I got the Google Home Mini in the mail. I got it and I ran inside and I was like, oh my gosh, Etch-a-Sketch, we have a new friend. I opened it up and I tried to set it up and it didn't work. Because of the dorm Wi-Fi here, it doesn't allow things like Alexas and Google Home Minis. So I was disappointed about that. But when I think about it, it's probably a really good thing that it didn't work. Because this was how it would go if it did work. You know, I'd be going about my day, just doing homework or something. Hey Google, what's the temperature outside? Hey Google, what's the temperature outside in Celsius? That sounds so much colder. That's insane. Hey Google, what's the temperature outside in Kelvin? And I know I would just slowly descend into madness after that. 1 week later, I would be doing nothing, just laying down on my bed like, hey Google, did you ever watch the 1997 animated film Hercules? Because I think it's neat. It's a neat film. You, me, Etch-a-Sketch this Friday. Watch party. Oh man. Google, can I sing a song for you? No, don't look anything up. I just want to you to listen. Okay, are you ready? I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome will be waiting. Hey, look up Muppets for Hercules. I'm interested in that. That is one thing about my my major that happens to me all the time as a web design major. People walk up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna have a job." Especially adults. They're like, "Oh, what are you studying?" I'm like, "Web design," and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna have a job." And I'm like, Oh, good. No one seems to know what that job is or care. No one cares about what I do for a living, just that I'll have a job. But I could be on the worst end of things. I could be an English major or a theater or art major. You know, the people that all get a bad rap, everybody walks up to them and is like, you know, you're a art major, huh? Good luck with that. But I've been on the other side of that too. In fact, I think I might have had it one step worse than many of these people. Let me tell you, next time you go to an academic counselor, tell him you want to operate a Muppet. And tell me what they say. Because I will bet you anything that their first words are, what? No. Because so far, that's how it's been with every person that I've mentioned that to. And then it's very unsupportive of that career choice. Which I think is mostly because, like, you know, it's not like a booming industry, Muppetry. There's only like 2 Muppet shows. But, and so they're like, Evie, I just don't want to see you end up on the street. And I'm like, I'm sure I could get a job as like someone's left arm. And they're like, the Sesame Street. I don't want to see you on Sesame Street. Thank you, everybody. That's my
I could talk with my mic in the stand, but then I'd be like right here, which is more awkward than it should be. You're right, I don't trust that thing. Hey, so glad you all are here so I can make a general announcement. I am 6'1". Yes, I am the shortest member on the team. And I do not play basketball. Or volleyball. You know, it's all good though, because I love being 6'1". I love being 6'1". I am the designated meeting place whenever we go anywhere with my friends who are all shorter than me. For the most part, they're shorter than me. But I am the designated meeting place, and they let me know about deodorant fails. So that works out pretty good. Another thing though, with being 6'1" and female, it takes me 45 minutes to shave my legs. And of course, I have these size 11 feet to match, which makes small trips even more challenging. You know those super cute summer dresses? Those are shirts on me. You know, as a tall person, I've noticed all sorts of inconsistencies within society. I've had total strangers come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, you're tall. Just once. I really want to be like, oh, you're right. Oh. When did that happen? I need to stop sleeping in. The stars can't happen anymore. Oh. But they'll be like, do you play basketball? I do not play basketball. We have said this. Let me tell you why I do not play basketball. I am clumsy. Exhibit A. This past week, my boyfriend invited me to go over to his roommate's grandma's house for a nice dinner. I'm like, oh, this isn't meeting the family, but it's, we're getting close. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, I gotta make a good impression, right? So, had nice clothes, you know, whatever. We get there, and I didn't say anything dumb when I introduced myself, which is good, okay? Dinner comes. I have a couple different chili option choices. And I'm like, I could go for minestrone soup, but there's like a couple different like spices in there, and I don't want to get anything in my teeth because that's weird. So we didn't get the minestrone. And there's this really nice Russian dish, but it looked good, but I think there was onions in it. I'm like, no, I don't want bad breath. But there was this nice white bean chili. I'm like, I like this. This looks good. It's white, like nothing's gonna get in my teeth. It tasted really good. Bad choice, because after dinner, I have a little bit of chili left, and I'm like, okay, I'm full. I'm gonna throw this away. So I'm sitting down. I grab my bowl. I start pulling it towards me, and I go to stand up, and I just keep pulling it towards me. All over myself. All over my jeans and my sweatshirt that was actually not mine. All over myself, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And my boyfriend, being the sweetheart that he is, goes and grabs a wet napkin to clean up chili all down my pants. Yeah, that didn't work. That got like maybe this part of my jeans. You want to know what we used? A hose and a dish rag. That is what we used. I am very clumsy. I do not play basketball. If any of you ever come up to me and ask, hey, do you play basketball? Do you play mini golf? For Santa Claus. Thank you.
Except for that first night, the two